today is the day. It is February 9th, and how warm is it, Josh?
47 degrees.
That's right. We are going to take advantage of that, and we're going to move the bees out. The next couple days in the forecast look a little bit cold, but for the most part, next week, the 10-day is like highs in the average of 45. And bees will fly in that, especially if there's sun beating on them. So we're going to go ahead and get them out. And today we'll probably just put dry sugar on them. But after the weekend, once we get into those days, we're going to put sugar syrup out and start getting them fed up so that they can start growing and make big colonies of bees. So stay tuned.
So I am in charge right now of any dead colonies we find as we're pulling things out and doing cluster checks. So the first thing I do is I try and scrape all the burr comb off so we can try and get some of that rendered down to usable wax for various products. And then I'll flip it up here on this lid to try and keep all the dead bees and propolis and all that stuff in here, and I'm going to sort through the frames.
Keep the mess contained.
Right. So we have 3 different frame piles going here. These ones are all filled with capped honey. We're going to try and keep them away from our honey boxes so we don't contaminate any of our artificial feeding with good natural honey.
Yeah, by artificial, he just means sugar syrup. And so we'll save these for any light colonies and poke them in there if they need it. And also they'll go into our split boxes. So if we're making a new colony here in a couple months, we'll use these boxes to have colonies move up into and then put a queen cell in so that we can have more hives.
Here we got just kind of like mostly just comb or some kind of a, like 25% to 40% filled frames here. Those will get matched together in these split boxes so that hopefully they can grow out the comb more and more.
Right.
And these we have foundationless frames, or ones that just have wires, and we're going to save these for swarm traps.
Yeah, and these probably came from like cutouts and stuff of us just rubber banding the frames into.
Yeah, let me see if I can find a good example of that. Some of those look pretty cool. Yeah. You can see like we had a nice big cutout here and probably 2 here, and then we just rubber band them in there and they start to mesh them all together as they build their home.
Right.
Here's another cool one.
Yeah, for the most part, just kind of salvaging equipment, counting our losses, which are not the greatest, but with all the temperature fluctuations, it kind of happen. But anyways, as you can see, we're getting the yard back out there. Josh is working under the Steve's Bees tent today.
It's intense.
And there's John sweeping out the sea can and getting ready for the rest of the hives we got to move. Yeah, pretty intense, huh?
Heck yeah.
Josh, what is happening here?
Well, now that we got all the bees moved out into the yard and hopefully they're working the syrup we set out for, now we're going to render down some of our beeswax from the last honey harvest we did. Probably let it sit a little too long, but off season is time for building projects, not working bees. So here I'm taking stuff out of our uncapping bins. It's pretty crystallized at this point, but pretty easy with a nice hive tool like this. Scrape it out, and we're putting it in these big pots full of hot water. We put about 2 inches in the bottom of that, and then we'll melt everything down on this turkey fryer, and we'll make it so that there's a layer of water on the bottom. Any honey that's in there should sit on top, and then wax will sit on the very top of that. So we'll get these nice big discs of wax. We'll scrape any of the dirt or other grime, whether it's dead bees or propolis or any of that stuff will get scraped off the bottom of them, and then we'll try and render them down through further. Sometimes you have to do that step a couple of times to get some nice looking wax. Then after that, we do a final straining. This top strain is for any large particles or dead bees that make it through there. And here, what is this stuff called, Steve?
Flour sack.
Flour sack is going to be our final strain to pick up any last bit of dirt And it goes right here into a container.
Yeah, and so this is just like a trial run. We've never had this much beeswax before. And so as far as getting it clean, we've just kind of done the discs thing, and that has created, I don't know, pretty good wax for the most part. But this way with filtering it, being that we're doing so much, there's going to be a lot of fine sediments and such that we'll get out. And hopefully make good quality candles, and we'll use it in our lip balms and any other of our other cosmetic products, not problems. Anyhow, we'll see you on the next one.